Hey, house guests, it's your girl Rack Famous Star. Sorry this is so late. I was trying to do my lesson plans and I just got back. I went home this weekend, so it's been kind of crazy. And I was gonna do some other things that try to set priorities for myself, get this done, and then you can record. I set time to watch BB, of course, but it's just like it's just so much. But anyways, enough about me. I am here to give you the lowdown on episode 29. So going into this week, let me just start with going into this week. I thought that it was going to be so much more. I thought, um, you know, like since I did find out who the HOH was, I was like, oh yeah, stuff is about to happen. Like I don't know. But so they left us off with last episode. They started the HOH competition. Last episode was basically a waste of time. And they just it's a bunch of flashbacks, and then they gave us like 5 minutes of the HOH competition. Not even five, maybe like two and a half. But before the eviction, when Polly was about to go, they said it was like a little over an hour before the eviction. Polly was trying to stir the pot, and he was pitting James and Natalie against Paul. Like basically, he was throwing Paul under the bus to save Corey and Nicole because he knew he was going. Polly said to go after James and Victor. Um, Polly told Nicole to go after James and Victor, and Paul was standing there and he agreed, and he was like, yeah, because what are you gonna like say no when like Polly is saying something? You're just like, yeah. And I don't think 100% Paul was like, yeah, I'm going after them. I think his plan was to go after Corey and Nicole. But Nicole went first. This is the key. Nicole went first and told James and Natalie, like, yeah, that's what Polly just said, but I'm not doing this, but Paul said he's doing it. So they were like, what? And Natalie was like, if you're coming after my man, you're coming after me. Um, so that's what happened before, and it's just pitting everybody against each other. I hope that they find out, like, the house guests realize and they compare notes and realize that Polly it was behind all this and that they're being idiots right now. But okay, let me flash forward or back. I don't know. I'm confused. It's late. Um, to the HOH competition. It was called Black Box, and the house guests were not trapped, but they were in this giant black box. And it was pitch black in there, and they had to hold down a button, and then a voice would come over and say like, "You have 30 seconds." They had to look for these rings that would fit on their pole. So the voice would come over and be like, "You have 30 seconds to look for um these rings." I don't know. And so they'd have to like there was like this gloop stuff and like feathers and like it was just like stuff was dripping and this I guess the smell was super bad. Um, and I guess it was a lot harder than it looked. But then again, finding anything in the dark, like when you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know how far anything is, you don't know, like you just have to happen to come across it. I guess it looked a lot harder than it was. Um, but they were trapped in there for 2 hours. Now, I don't know if anyone else caught this, but Corey, they went on Corey, and I don't know. I thought they beeped out. I thought they like blurred out the F word, but Corey said, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, not that I'm not like a big cusser, but okay. Anyways, I don't know. Corey said sly little fucks. He said that on like camera, and I don't know if they didn't realize he said it, I mean, probably going forward, they'll probably like blur that one out, you know, like when they put it on, CBS.com. But he didn't. It didn't get bleeped out. Maybe that's not what he said, but I could have sworn he said that. Um, but they bleeped out Zingbot when he said the F word, so I just think they didn't catch it. But I was just like, did he just? And I was replaying it like instantly afterwards, and I was like, yeah, he did. He did. And I'll probably watch other BB recaps and see if they caught it too, because if you had a pulse, you caught it. Maybe the person that was editing it was tired and they were just like, whatever, it's Corey's shot, you know. And they just, I don't know what he's saying. Let's just put it on, you know. I don't know. But Natalie during the competition, she was trying to make deals because she was hurting. I guess she had something wrong with her neck. She was trying to make deals. And it was kind of getting annoying. Like, okay, guys, who wants to make deals? Nobody. Look at no. There's only 7 people left. No. Um. So at the end of the competition, oh, Michelle got out because she didn't make it back to her button. She let go of it on accident, and then at the so she was out like 30 minutes in maybe. And then at the last second, James got out because James fell. He was on his way back to the buzzer, and there was like 2 seconds left, and he tried to hurry up, and he slipped. So he didn't make it back to his buzzer. So it was between Paul, Nicole, Corey, and Natalie. Paul got 5 rings. Nicole got 5 rings. Corey got 10 rings, and so did Natalie. And so they went off of who got 10 rings first. Um, and Natalie won by 4 seconds. So was proud of her when she won. In the moment that she won, I was proud of her. My feelings shortly changed after that. So James and Natalie are starting to work with Corey and Nicole, you know, because it's the 2 showmances working together. And I don't know how promising this is. Like, I don't know how, like, much of a good idea, let me say that. Because even though you have Natalie and James have each other's back 100%, and Corey and Nicole have each other's back 100%, there's going to become a time when you get down to the Final Four and one of them win. Yeah, you may hope that it's you that wins, but I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea right now. I don't think it's a good idea to work with them. I think a better idea would have been to work with maybe not both Victor and Paul, but maybe like Paul and Meech. So the 2 singles, right? So I don't know. I feel like making a deal with a single that's strong. Well, not that Meech is strong, but making a deal with a single so if they do come in power, you know, they're not just gonna automatically target you, and you won't be like, I don't know. I don't think that Corey and Nicole are the best idea. Um, but Paul kind of half talks with James and Natalie. He was like, friendship, you know, I'm not gonna put you up, you know, don't want to bother you about it, but stick with, you know, are we sticking with the plan, you know? And she's like, yeah, you know, thanks for talking to me. Um, but Victor tries to talk to Natalie, but Corey is there. Like, Victor goes up to the HOH room, and James is up there too. And Victor goes, and they're whispering about something. As soon as Victor walks in, they stop talking about it, and it gets awkward, and then Victor leaves, and he has a feeling, you know, like something's happening, you know. Um, yeah, so that kind of sucked. I didn't like it. How not okay. Hold on, let me just. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Um, I guess they had time to kill during this episode, so they talk about friendship time with Paul, how he does his little talk show thing. It seemed funny. I don't know. Ooh. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. But yeah, so they talked about that. The BB care package came, and let me be more lively. Okay, let me be more lively. BB care package came, and Meech finally won. I've been waiting for her to win. And now that she's used it, I don't know if I'm glad that she won. But it was co HOH, and basically she, gets all the perks of HOH. Um, and she gets to name one nominee. And she first of all she couldn't open the box. And then she reads it as COHOH, like she literally says the letters. And I was just like, everyone was like, "What? Let's go." Someone had to read it for her. But so basically, the plan before Michelle got the co-HOH was to put up Victor and Paul. Like that was what they were leaning towards. And then as soon as Michelle won, Michelle was like, "I want to put up Nicole." She's like, "I want to put up Nicole," and and I'm like, "All right, go with the plan." Because that's what, well, first of all, that's what Michelle wanted to do, and that's what the plan was anyway. Corey and Nicole. But Natalie and Corey immediately get on Meech's butt and throw Paul and Victor under the bus, because Michelle tried to bring up Nicole, and they were like, but Paul, but Victor. And I'm just like, God dang, like, you, I bet you it's hard to have, like, an original thought in that house, because someone, there's always people, like, putting their thoughts into your head, and you don't know maybe how to separate, your thoughts from anyone else's. And I bet you it's hard to just think as an individual. But they're like immediately on our butt. Before nominations, Natalie and Meech, they couldn't come to an agreement about who to put up. They know Paul has lied and agree that he should go up, but Meech does not want to put Victor up. She's like, he hasn't done me any wrong, like I'm cool with Victor. I don't want to put him up. And Natalie, she was like, well, I'll put him up. She's like desperately trying to get um, Paul and Victor up, and just desperately trying to save uh, Polly, not Polly, Polly, but Corey and Nicole. And it's just like, you know what? At this point, now I hope that Polly comes back, turns his back on James and Natalie, and they realize how dumb they are. That's what I hope at this point. Like, I'm just like, you know what? Unless by the grace of God Nicole goes home this week, I hope that Polly comes back and turns his back and starts working with Corey and Nicole again and turns his back on James and Natalie, because that's what's gonna happen. But let me just, nominations ended up being Victor and Paul. Natalie put up Victor and Meech put up Paul, and basically saying that they want Paul out, and that Meech said that she will use the POV on Victor if she wins, and that, clearly she's like, you're not the target, hope you win, blah blah blah. And I was just like, dang. And you know what? This time last week, I was 100% sure Paul was gonna win this game. And I bet you there's dodos in the house were looking around like, dang, Paul's about to win this game. So it's like good on their part that they're doing something, but it's not really what I want. And this season was like going downhill for me. And then it started to peak, and then it's going right back down. So, I mean, I'm just going to end it right here. Let me know what you guys think, how you're feeling. I'm just like, as I watch it, I'm just like sad because it was going so good and now it's not. I don't know. But that wraps it up for me. Thanks for watching, and you're welcome. Bye.